Today we're going to tackle affairs. Incredibly complicated because we are so tied to our relationships. Learn how to work with an affair, how to get through it without destroying yourself or your relationship. So let's dive in. The first thing to understand is timing is everything. If you dive in trying to fix everything up front, you're going to fail. And the reason is a simple reason. When we react to an affair, we're reacting emotionally. And our emotions are terrible at looking at the situation, sizing things up, and choosing the proper action. Affairs are highly emotional. So if you just jump in to react to an affair, those emotions will destroy you. Guaranteed, okay? And this is one of the reasons why it's really important to get help, like myself or someone who knows what they're doing, because our emotions are not in the equation. We can help you ride that tide of despair, help you sort through those feelings of anger, to help you get through that frustration and the fears that get stirred up. Affairs are one of the most emotional challenges you'll ever face in your life. And if you don't work with your emotions, if you don't understand the way your emotions work out, your emotions will destroy your relationship, guaranteed, 100%. I've seen it happen over and over again. When people try to handle affairs on their own, their emotions will always cause them to do the wrong thing. Arguments will always escalate out of control. Feelings will lash out like a whip just to torture each person in the process. No, it's terrible. The emotions are not very graceful when it comes to resolving problems. Emotions are really powerful for helping stick together like glue, but unfortunately affairs are a time when there are other problems in play, and if you just tackle the affair straight on, you're missing the real problem. And there's the secret to working with affairs. Affairs are symptoms of other problems. And so when we tackle an affair, we tackle the infidelity, we tackle the breaking of trust, which are important topics, because if we don't resolve the breaking of trust, you cannot come back in a relationship. But resolving the breaking of trust in an affair takes 2 years. And if you charge into trying to fix your affair all in 3 months and let your emotions do it, there's no way you're going to rebuild trust with your emotions hitting back and forth in the flare-ups of problems that will happen as you challenge and work through the issues of the affair. Not only that, because you're emotionally charged, you'll actually refuse to accept the other problems in play. And so you only will focus on the infidelity, not the reasons why the infidelity is there to begin with. Okay, so now let's look at this a little bit deeper. Turns out timing is everything. When the affair happens, makes a big difference. So I'll give you an example of this. When affairs happen in midlife, those affairs, typically we can work through, resolve, and help everyone get to a better place. So midlife affairs are highly repairable if you slow down and take the time to look at what's at play and come back together. Now, if you look at affairs at other times of life, say you have an affair when you're 20 or 30, those affairs are not very repairable. Those affairs tend to break apart more than average. So the timing of your affair and the circumstances of your affair makes a huge difference on how you approach it and if you're going to be successful or not. Okay? So there are some simple rules here. Rule number 1 is, if an affair happens, you have to pause and take a time out. If you dive into the problem right away, your emotions are 100% going to cause you to do the wrong thing, see the wrong thing, react in the wrong way. Okay? So the first step in an affair is pause, take some time to catch up. Go talk to a friend, don't be embarrassed. Come talk to someone like me who can help you sort things out, to help you buy a little bit of time to get through that initial spike of your emotions going crazy. But if you react with your emotions will destroy everything they touch at this stage of the game. Now, the other thing to understand is affairs are not the same if you're in the affair versus if your partner's having an affair. So understand the way you work through this is very different depending on which side of the affair you're in. So now if you are a person in the affair, the first thing you're going to have to understand is you have to ask yourself, why are you in that affair, or why are you thinking of that affair? Because if you're thinking about going to the affair, it means there are other problems in play. And the other problems in play, going to the affair isn't going to solve those problems. In fact, going in the affair will magnify those problems for later. So if you're the person who is in the affair or thinking about going to the affair, the first step is to pause to examine why you're tempted by that affair. And this is a chance for you to resolve out some problems and think about some issues and how to improve your life actually before going into the affair. Now, if you've already gone into an affair, again, there's time to examine yourself, examine what's going on, and you do have to be careful how you come clean or you go forward. So for those in an affair, contact me directly and I'll help you walk through that. I'm going to focus on the other side of the affair right now for those who are experiencing a partner who's in an affair, okay? So now, if you've just discovered your partner is in an affair, don't overreact, don't panic, don't deny it, okay? Accept there is an affair going on. Pause, breathe. Okay, get your frustration out, but don't take it out on your partner yet, okay? You're going to cry, you're going to go through every emotion in the book. You're going to have to get a massage or go for a hot bath or go for a walk, clear your mind a little bit, get some air in there, but don't react, because as soon as you discover you have an affair, everything's going to go off kilter. You just won't see straight anymore. Everything's off. You're going to be in survival mode because we survive with our partner, and when we lose our partner, that's a hit to our survival, and then our instincts kick into gear. And that's one of the traps of affairs, is it triggers our instinctual responses, and those instinctual responses don't care about your story, they don't care about your marriage, they don't care about your happiness. Your instincts will react in a way to only create short-term solutions, and short-term solutions never work for the long term. So when you react at that instinctual level, which most people will do, those instinctual responses will tear apart your marriage. It will destroy it. And you'll keep wondering, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I lash? Why did I get so angry? Why did I go and confront the partner of the affair? Why did I do this? It's because your instincts are programmed to do that. And we lose control in that emotional rush of the damage of the affair. That's really hard to deal with. Again, that's why talking to someone like me, where I can help pull you back and I can help time it and work with it, is so important. So understand, those emotions are really, really hard. So now, if you're in an affair, the first thing to understand is there are other problems. Okay? The affair is not the primary problem. So you have to breathe and pause, and you have to examine your relationship before going and confronting your partner. Because you have to begin thinking and understanding there are other things in play. So now, typically, when affairs happen when we're younger, those are the affairs we tend not to be able to recover from, because people are still experimenting, they're still trying to find their true partners, and even though it may feel like a true partner for you, it may not be a true partner for them. And so when we're younger, the affairs are rebalancing, and that's a real hard truth to face, that maybe your partner isn't in love with you as much as you are in love with them. And that's a difficult thing to face if that's the case. And it's not easy to say, because they're going to lie to you, say they are 100% in love with you, or they do have these deeper feelings for you, but they're still in the affair, and they still lie, and they still go to the next affair. So a simple rule is, if you're a younger person facing an affair, and your partner is a serial affair person, leave. You're not going to save that relationship, because the problem is they're not into you except in using you. They are using you for some reason, but you're not enough for them, so they're going from affair to affair to affair. So in younger affairs, you need to be aware, lots of times those are the harder ones to fix, because people are still moving on, they're still learning. That's a hard truth to face, okay? Some of these relationships you can fix, because if the affair is for other problems, like for instance trauma and insecurity issues and financial issues, in other words, if there are other issues driving the affair, then we can fix the affair. But if the affair is because a person is naturally a player or naturally experimenting, that you can't fix. And that's a hard truth, because you have to look at the reasons before going in to fix the affair. And that's not something you can do as easily, because your emotions are going to say, he loves me, she loves me. and your emotions won't believe the evidence in front of your eyes necessarily, which is why, again, it's helpful to get someone to help you to sort through that to see what's really going on. Now, in midlife, the conditions are different. In midlife, and I work mainly with midlife affairs, but in midlife, a person is changing. They need to take a time out. They need to take time to figure out who they are. So ironically, in a midlife affair, if you discover your partner's in a midlife affair, the proper response is to pull back. Take time to heal yourself. Take time to begin to exercise. Take care of your financial issues. Take care of anything that's imbalanced in your personal life, and leave your partner alone. Because in all the years I've been doing this, 99% of midlife affairs never work out. In all the years I've been doing this, out of 1,000 people I've talked to, only 2 midlife affairs have worked out. In other words, midlife affairs tend to be a person changing, and the affair is symptoms of that change. So if you buy time, if you allow your partner to change, more times than not, they actually come back. And then you can heal and create a new relationship. And so the hard path in a midlife affair is to create a new relationship. And that's why my technique is so successful. Because I buy you time, I pull you back from those emotions, and I allow you the time to take the 2 years to rebuild the trust. I allow the time for the person to go through the crazy phase so the crazy energy doesn't break you up or drive you crazy. I buy you time to work on yourself, which allows the balance to come back later. The trick in a midlife affair is to create a whole new relationship. Because typically, the old relationship is broken for various reasons, so the trick is to create a brand new relationship. And if you do that, that works. But that takes 2 years to do. It takes a lot of outside help, a lot of intervention, a lot of timing, and it's possible. But it does usually require someone like myself to help you to go through that, because otherwise your emotions and survival instincts will keep going in. And there's a point, if you do too much damage, it's impossible to come back together. So the trick is not to do too much damage. Now, this is one of the fundamental problems with affairs. People often apply the wrong solution at the wrong time. If you approach a younger affair as if it was a midlife affair, it's not going to work. If you approach a midlife affair like a younger affair, that's not going to work. Timing's everything, and you have to understand the nuances and what nuances are in play. What are the features? What are the reasons behind the affair? Not the affair itself, but you have to look carefully at those reasons behind the affair and slowly tease them apart and begin to heal those issues behind the affair. And that's the secret to working with affairs. So now, remember, emotions blind a person. Emotions are not your friend when coming to work with this situation. Take a time out, breathe in. A simple truth is this: if your partner is having an affair, you have to take a time out. And this is a very simple truth. If your partner is abusive, the relationship is over. An abusive partner is a person who takes away your power, a person who takes but doesn't give, a person who will steal your energy, steal your love, but never gives back to you. Okay? So, if you're in an affair and your partner is abusive, there's no repairing that relationship. The only answer is to leave. That's one rule that's off the top. If your partner is abusive, time to leave. Rule number 2, if your partner is a player, if there's a serial player involved, it's time to leave also, because you're just being played, and that's a form of abuse. The third thing is, if your partner is fiscally unstable, if they're out gambling the money away, if they're spending the money without abandon and they can't be practical in how they spend, that's also validation to leave, because financial issues will chase you over life. And it shows it's a form of abuse, really. Now, if you look at the numbers, 3 times out of 10 is one of those 3 things in play. And if it's one of those 3 things in play, you need to release. No amount of help from any expert is going to help you save that relationship, and it's just going to get worse over time. That's just upfront. Now, another issue are emotional affairs. Everyone says, oh, they're in an emotional affair. No, emotional affairs are not the problem. The problem are the emotions. If your partner is in an emotional affair, it tells you there's another problem in play. An emotional affair isn't the problem. An emotional affair means your partner is looking for something, and at an emotional level, they need to figure something out, and they can't get it from you. So if you react to an emotional affair and pull your partner out of that emotional affair, you're guaranteeing they're going to actually have a real affair later or making it worse. So don't overreact to emotional affairs. Emotional affairs are the biggest piece of propaganda BS that relationship coaches put out there. It's not the way it looks. Rather, the emotional affair is a symptom of another problem, and you don't tackle the emotional affair, you tackle the emotional problem under the emotional affair, and then that can cause you to find a solution. Okay, so don't overreact if you think your partner is having an emotional affair. Rather, it's time to gently recenter yourself, pause, don't overreact, because if you overreact, those emotions will flare up, and trust me, those emotions will then fight and destroy your marriage. So when you discover an emotional affair, you relax. You take time to understand what's going to play. You take time to work on your own insecurities first, because if you go in with insecurities to face a problem, your insecurities will destroy everything you touch. So you have to become secure in yourself first when facing an emotional affair. Time it, then open up a conversation with your partner about why are they emotionally attracted to this person, what are they looking for, and then you can get help or work on those issues that are being exposed and gently improve things. So ironically, an emotional affair is before an affair, and if you look at it right, you can use it as an awakening moment to heal your relationship. So don't overreact. If you are perceiving this emotional affair in play, use it as a little earthquake to examine what's in play and to improve everything. Okay? Now, affairs tend to cause insecurity. That insecurity will cause you to cling more tightly to your partner. It will increase codependency. The more you cling, the more codependency you push into your relationship, the faster your relationship is going to break apart. So one of the solutions to affairs is not being codependent, not being like syrup to cling on your partner, but to actually give a little extra space and work on your confidence. There's nothing in the universe that's more attractive than confidence. The more confident you get, the stronger you get, the more your partner is going to want to come back and circle to work with you and improve your relationship. So one of the number one ways to fix your relationship during and after an affair is confidence, working on your personal confidence. And again, as a life coach, as a teacher, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you become more confident. I'm going to help you become more independent. And ironically, that helps save people from affairs and make the relationship grow from that circumstance. It's really powerful. Okay, so address the emotions rather than an affair. Take time to be patient, learn to be confident, get into your power. That's the true solution to affairs. Now, there's a lot of angles, a lot of nuances. I can't cover it all in the video. And that's why you do contact me, and we can work through this one step at a time to layer it out and find the perfect solution for your situation. Please subscribe to our videos. It helps us. We're building a whole video library of all the topics we cover and helping people live better. And the more you subscribe, the better off it is for us. So please subscribe to us. Have a great day. Be strong. Find your confidence.